Welcome to Open Pike Night, where we take you into the strange new world's writer's room with our series, Strange New Words. I am your host, Cameron Harrison. Flying solo tonight because John and Jesse practice mind melding on each other and are now locked in this intense session of synchronized dancing I dare not interrupt. So it's just me, except who's that rapping at my chamber door? None other than the woman who knows the exact thumb placement to execute a perfect Vulcan nerve pinch, Dana Horgan.
It's true. I've been practicing for a long time.
And the man who hates eyeballs. He hates them. Davy Perez.
I cannot stand looking at them. And yes, we should just get rid of them.
Who needs them?
Who needs them?
Well, I definitely want to jump into the season 3 finale, episode 310, New Life and New Civilizations. But first, Dana, this is your third time with us, and I finally feel comfortable enough to ask you, how difficult is it working in a Star Trek writer's room when your last name is Horgan?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't. It's never come up.
No, not as, actually, I just realized that that's her last name.
There is no Dana.
Only Horgan.
Only Vesda? I don't know. All right, we'll leave it at that. Well, I'm sure there were a lot of discussions and versions of the season finale. Can you tell us how this one came to be?
This was many seasons ago.
Yeah, I mean, we were joking about it, but, you know, geez, we started talking about this episode almost 2 years ago, and then wrote it, you know, maybe a year and a half ago, and then shot it a year ago. So how it came to be, interestingly enough, we knew early on we were going to do something with the Vesda, because that was something we set up prior to this episode. We knew we were transforming Batel. And I think, you know, we wanted to really give that relationship with Pike its own space and its weight. And so we just talked a lot about what's an interesting way of doing that, you know, and then we talked about the life not lived. And then, you know, Dana and I just really got excited about this idea of what if he does live that life, and what if we get to see it? You know, yeah. What would that do to those characters, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, that parallels a lot of what we understand will be Pike's eventual fate, living an imagined fantasy life in his mind. Was there a concern that was too similar, or was that part of the appeal of it?
We talked about it a lot. That was definitely like in the conversation. I think there was a little bit of an appeal of knowing that is part of his canon. But again, like with most things, it's a lot of like what serves our storytelling and our character. And we really, like Davey said, we felt, we had this really strong relationship between Pike and Batel, which, the actors are fantastic and they're fantastic together. So like we really wanted to give that space for its own story and honor it. While also, I mean, we talked a lot about like the Inner Light and other shows that have taken from the Inner Light and other similar life not lived storylines and try to find our own space for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then for me too, I think it did end up becoming kind of a bonus, because in the menagerie, like Pike tells Spock, like, no, I don't want to go. Like he knows. It's you know, there's a weird, for me in my own headcanon, there's a connection between I've already lived a life that was worth living. I don't need to go to the Telosians. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But that he still ends up going in that episode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, again, it's a deep cut and it's a deep headcanon thing. But like as a fan, like all of us are, you know, there's always fun when there's some things that kind of connect in a way that makes you go, oh yeah, that's cool, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I admit I don't remember exactly how the menagerie ends, but I was wondering if like, oh, is this the life he's going to go live with them?
No, the menagerie ends with Vina, and he's
right.
supposed to, like, so he has a girlfriend.
Like, is he going to have Vina kind of?
She's not going to take on Batel's face. I don't think that. I think that's creepy. I think it's like I had a really great life with Batel, and she's a god somewhere now. and now I'm gonna hang out with Vina, and we're gonna fight knights. I don't know. It's a very very different fantasy life he has with Vina and the Telosians.
Well, maybe we'll find out someday. Well, with the premiere, you had to wrap up the previous season while setting up the pieces for this season, and we talked about that, Davey, on that episode. With this finale, and correct me if my assumptions on the timing are incorrect, you had to wrap up this season's storylines while also providing an end to the series. If it didn't get picked up for season 4, that would still work if it did get picked up for season 4. Am I right there, and how did you balance all of that?
There's always a little bit of that game. I mean, that's sort of just the world we're in now with television, where it's so rare to know. I mean, just with the timelines of when things are written and when they're shot and when they're picked up and when they're aired, it's so rare to know that you are going to get picked up before you're writing the end of something. I think by the time we were shooting it, we knew. Yeah. We knew that it would not be the finale. So we were able to sort of service the season a little more than we would the series. But there was a time, I mean, like Davey said, we came up with this idea before it was before the writer's strike, and then the writer's strike happened, and it extended everything by months and months and months and months and months. And so it's a lot of things evolved in that time or after that time period. But yeah, that was, I think by the time we were shooting it, we knew. Yeah.
And it wasn't much of a change. I think it was just the captain's log at the end and how the tone of that sort of lesson learned. Like you could maybe put a finite note on it if you had to, but it wasn't like we were consciously saying, let's sandbag this episode to be the final. I think it was just like, oh, if we have to, there's room to do that, but let's just, to Dana's point, like write the best episode for our characters.
Yeah. I mean, I think we knew that we weren't going to do another cliffhanger. Like we weren't going to do another two-parter. Right. We had already done that. So we knew that. We knew that we were going to close the season in hopefully a satisfying way.
Was that a discussion not to do a cliffhanger, or was that pretty quickly agreed upon?
I mean, I don't think we wanted to repeat the previous season's finale.
I think it was like, let's have a satisfying end that ends. Yeah. That's about, and just for the season, not the series.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's put a pin in that because we're going to come back to a bit of that for my final question. But Davey, as you told us, this episode is your Strange New World swan song. You won't be back for season 4 and 5. Do you feel you were able to say what you wanted to with Trek with your time here and this episode? And were you aware of that when you were writing this episode?
I was aware of that when I was shooting this episode. Okay. Maybe I had a sense of it when we were writing the episode, but I didn't really let that color my work, And as far as like, do I feel like if I've said everything I've had to say with Trek, and that's kind of a hard question to answer because I don't know. Sure. Like as writers, we're always coming up with things to say, and if I were to go back in that universe, I don't believe that I am, but if I am, I'm sure I find something to say, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But like while I was there, I certainly loved all the stories that I did get to tell, and I did get to say a lot of things, and I'm looking forward to finding the next project that I get to explore and tell stories.
As are we. Now, you mentioned headcanon before, and in this episode, Pelia mentions her time hanging out with a time-traveling doctor. I think we can all imagine who you were implying, but since you're the writers, may I have permission to headcanon that it was Dr. Sam Beckett she was talking about?
Obviously.
Oh, yeah, clearly. I mean, he never leaped home. So
that's right.
Where is he?
He just hung out with Pelia for a while.
I think there are a number of time-traveling doctors that one can play with in their minds.
Yeah.
But if you could see the other side of my computer screen, you would see my Quantum Leap poster.
I was going to say that was the first one that sprang to my
obviously
mind.
Doc Brown.
Sure.
Let's just say it out loud.
I mean, I think she's friends with all of them.
I think so.
He did eventually become a Klingon, so... Yeah, well, I mean, what is going on, guys? We got a TARDIS, we got this reference, we got the crossover comics. Like, what's happening with this intersection of Trek and Doctor Who right now? Is it just a lot of mutual fans in the writers' rooms, or?
That's above my pay grade.
I don't know anything. I'm out of the loop, so
That's
you're asking
true,
the wrong
that's true.
person.
I know
All right.
nothing.
Just a lot of fans will say, for sure. At least that.
I can share my fanfic. Does anyone want to read that?
I'm sure the people are clamoring actually now. Well, you both got to build a titular strange new world with Sky Gowan is the name, I believe it was. How did you approach constructing the society? And Dana's got her patent smile on that tells me something exciting is coming.
Can I say what it's named after?
Yeah.
All I do is come on this podcast and tell you about the name, where we got the names for things.
It's 50% of the podcast.
This planet was named for our fantastic and wonderful support staff. It is a combination of two of their names. I won't give their identities out on here, but we cannot do the show without them. Mm-hmm. They are wonderful, and that's the kind of thing we like to do here on the Star Trek.
We smashed a first name and a last name, and it became Sky Gowan.
We pay tribute to the people who are important to us.
Mm-hmm. Good. They're a planet.
Yep.
It's a tribute. One day.
Now, Davey, you have to take the lore.
Well, no, I mean, I think, I wanted something that evoked sort of Aztec, sort of earthy, sort of like, I'm a big, Ancient Aliens, a consumer of all those, bunk theories. But I love the idea that, just something tropical, something, Mayan, something more different than Western-based mythology, and what would that look like? And so when we give sort of those parameters to our production designers and our AR team that builds worlds, and then they come back with a bunch of stuff, and then we sort of say this direction, not that direction, and that's just fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Ley lines, did that come from Ancient Aliens?
I mean, look, if you don't believe that there's powerful ley lines that control people's fate, then I don't know what
Davey loves a ley line. He loves a ley line. It's his favorite.
I mean, there may or may not be ley lines in a project I'm currently working on now. So let's.
I mean, I think your house is on ley lines. I don't know. I haven't done.
That's how I chose it. It's a conflux of extremely powerful ley lines, which will bring you good fortune.
And an ancient Indian burial ground and pet cemetery, and
we should move the bodies and the headstones.
But we didn't move the bodies.
Well, I am a big fan of Sam Kirk, so thank you for bringing him in to speak about ley lines. Always a fan. Was there an attempt to kind of draw in as many of the characters from this season as possible into this episode?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to have a moment for everyone. Like we love Sam and we love to use him as much as we can. I think in the grand finale-ness of it, getting as many of our characters in was our hope.
Mm-hmm. Was that the reason to bring Kirk in as well? I mean, did the whole mind build, like talk about like that scene and, what the germ of the scene was and how it grew to what it is?
Don't even remember.
Well, I think the idea was seeing our crew working together is always fun. And then knowing that James is kind of becoming part of the family, the extended family of the Enterprise. Mm-hmm. And then knowing, we had episode 6 where we sort of had that adventure that he got to have, which will become his crew someday. And so it was just building on what we know will be their friendship, and literally, if you watch the original series, like Spock's reading his mind. And so here's like a thing where they mind meld. So there's a little bit of just, again, we're all fans, a little bit of fan serving for ourselves, but also kind of building on the youth know where this story goes, but you don't know exactly how it gets there. And this was just one of those moments,
Mm-hmm. We love a Spock-Kirk friendship. That's what we love.
I mean, the origin of slash fiction. What can you say?
I mean, my next question is, how does it feel knowing you just made millions of Spock-Kirk shippers joyously happy with some of their little repartee?
Feels great.
Good.
Feels great. We love that.
I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. I'm just here to provide a platform for everyone's good time.
We saw them out at Star Trek Las Vegas, and both Paul and Ethan answered for their favorite ship, Spurk. So they are fully on board.
They're the best. Good. I hope they are. It'd be really weird if they were like, actually, what if we did it different than the original series? And they don't even serve on the same ship.
I mean, I have the honor and rare distinction of having also worked on Destiel, and so it's just that's I can retire now. It's like Spurk and Destiel. What more can you do?
Well, it's also really fun. I mean, like you were talking about him becoming part of the extended family. It's fun having like two different ships who kind of work together a lot. And like that's not something we've gotten in Star Trek a lot, and it's an interesting little take on it. I hope we get to see more of that going forward.
We hope so too.
So
I can't wait to watch.
Come guest on the show, Davey. Well, can you talk about writing the Pike and Battelle lifetime scenes? I'm curious what the shorthand for these were, and what was your guiding principle for depicting a lifetime in less than 10 minutes?
I will say, this started as a monologue. That was before we had decided that we would see the flashbacks. It was going to be kind of Pike telling Battelle a story about the life not lived. And that was sort of the original inception of it. And then as we were breaking the episode, it became very clear that we wanted to spend time there, and we wanted to give it room to breathe. And I think that's when we realized it was going to be a full act. And I think I was like, what if it's the whole episode? And Davey said, no. What show do you think you work on? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like to say the crazy thing. Yeah, there was a moment in my dumb little brain. I was like, whole episode.
I mean, if it were not the finale, yeah, right? But there were so many other things, but yeah. But certainly an entire act,
Yeah, and we really just wanted to we had these characters and we wanted, it's the beautiful thing you get to do, especially with finales and you think about the 6 Feet Under finale and just the ability to give there are friends, there are family, these fictional characters, but they are fictional characters, so we get to do things with them that you can't do in real life. And give them happy endings.
I was going to say gadget eyes or cut off their fingers, but that's just Davey.
Yeah, I mean, you
also
can do that in real life, though. I mean, I would not recommend it. Don't do that. But this idea of I think we wanted it to feel when you wake up from a dream that was so real that you're the memory itself, but the memory of a dream and the memory of a thing that actually happened is the same. It's the same memory. It's the same feeling sometimes. And I think that's what we were trying to capture, that who is to say that this wasn't real for Pike?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what I remember.
The only thing I would add too was that there was the element of you think where Pike ends up or how he ends up there, and we wanted to sort of play with that expectation. And so I'm sure there's a moment where as you're watching, you're like, this is impossible. They've just jumped canon, or this is not main universe, or whatever your emotion that you're having. That's what we wanted you to have,
Right.
And the question of where is this going and how is this going to resolve and what the fuck am I watching and why? And then you go, oh, wow. And then it hits you. If we did our jobs right. That was kind of the hope,
I can't believe Davey swore before me.
I was going to say.
So mad at myself.
I'm a sailor. Sorry.
No, I
Dana's been promising
I
since
promised
6 episodes ago.
You just have to bleep me out. Sorry.
Well, how did the knocking motif come about?
I don't remember exactly how it came about. I just remember feeling whenever it did appear in the room, it was yes, now I know what genre we're in. Now I know how to string this together. Now I know how to make this mean something. And how to tell it and how to tie it into the greater story that we're telling, and not just be we're going to go over here and Battelle's going to give him a happy little memory and that's the end of it. That's the goodbye. We really wanted this idea of reality sort like that. It's not Twilight Zone-y. What is it, Davey? It's
surrealism. It's
it's
sort of
surrealism.
Magical realism.
Magical realism.
It's like it's happening, but it's a dream world, like Dana was saying, but it's also a real world, and that's the interdimensional space nature of these Vesda. It's like not really in your mind, but it's not a reality, or is it? It's interdimensional realism, I guess, which, for lack of a better term, you could say surrealism.
Yeah, and I think we also we really wanted this idea of Battelle still being human and having a humanity to her, and to tell a story about that and love and what that means, but then have this other thing, this other this darkness sort of knocking at the door. I remember having discussions about that. The Vesda, the what the Vesda represented.
Yeah. I mean, it's all great. It's all amazing. It's well written. It's performed amazingly. Those two,
they're incredible. Oh my
out
god!
of the park.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
But the moments that really made my hair stand in is when she realizes he's about to break the illusion, and she's trying to keep him in the illusion, and you wonder we're only seeing 10 minutes of this lifetime, and you wonder how much of that she's had to do that, keep him there. And also the revelation that says of Pike of he is such a Boy Scout, even though he's in his fantasy life, he's still wait, don't I have this other thing I've got to take care of right now? It's all just so multi-leveled and amazing. Not a question, just a compliment.
No, no, you're not wrong. They're amazing performers.
They're. We could not ask for better. They are just top of their game. They're top of the game.
Well, Battelle does go on to sacrifice herself to become a guardian, a protector. What's one bit of Star Trek canon or Strange New Worlds lore you would sacrifice yourself to protect?
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna stay on theme for the third episode in a row. I would protect the improbability field that created the musical universe. You knew it was coming.
Fair.
Coming.
Okay, I know. I would protect the meteorite that makes all the Kalar have forget-me-nows.
The forget-me-nows.
I like that little bit of weirdness.
Trek weirdness is the best. Well, there is one bit of plot line from season 3. I feel you guys did leave hanging with the season finale. I really need to know, now that Battelle is a statue, who is Basalt going to get for his replacement?
Oh.
I will write him a letter, and I will ask.
Could you?
And I don't know, maybe in Star Trek Legal.
I was going to say.
Maybe we'll find out.
When we finally get Star Trek JAG.
When we get Star Trek JAG. One of my dreams. Would love
Star
that.
Trek NCIS.
Hey,
Yep,
I know at least 3 audience members who would watch it. So you.
Fantastic. Well, now you know 4.
Hey, CBS, that's the crossover.
Unless I'm already included in that count.
Well, you mentioned Inner Light. Definitely some vibes there. I was getting some serious masks vibes from TNG with the Vesda's mask. I don't know if that was just me, or was there any thought going on there?
I think that was an afterthought. I think that was in the design process. I think it wasn't in the writing process. But someone did mention it, and then maybe in subconscious, I was like, oh yeah, there's similar-ish things going on here. But I think it wasn't something that we talked about consciously in the room. We were talking more about actually Battelle and Pike and their journey, and what kind of story they're going to have, and also there was a little bit of letting the crew have a win and save people, and have them see them actually have to do what they're the best at, which is working together to save a planet.
Probably the more important stuff to pay attention to. But I immediately started trying to replay masks in my head and be like, wait, were they the Vesda? Honestly, I think the whole backstory of that race and masks is...
maybe, right? There might be a way to connect the two of them, That's what's kind of cool about it. Is
you want to read my fanfic?
Connect it, it's connected.
Yeah. Done.
Headcanon, still canon. Any deleted scenes in this episode that are worth pointing out? Anything that got cut for time or anything?
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. No, there was a scene where and we didn't go down this. We ended up not going down this path for this character. There was a scene. There was an original concept where you saw Pike and Batel's daughter get accepted into Starfleet via a video call from Admiral Una Chin Riley.
Ooh.
And it was, it's the fantasy world, but like we really wanted this to tie this idea that like even in the Pike and Batel fantasy life, that all of their friends and our friends are still in their world.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss that idea that Una got to be the one to welcome her to Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked that.
Was that shot or?
It wasn't shot. We went in a different direction. But so I guess it wasn't. It was deleted from the final draft.
I will say that we shot a lot of world building stuff that is kind of cool and flavor, but like ultimately it wasn't necessary for the story. But like I just loved learning and knowing more about, I guess, the people on Sky Gowing and how they worship and what they worship. But it ultimately just kind of was like just extra information that wasn't servicing the main story. But cool stuff.
Sure. I hope to see it. Well, you kind of mentioned about not wanting to repeat season 2's finale, which was a cliffhanger. Season 1, of course, you remade a TOS episode for the finale. What do you hope the season 3 finale is remembered for?
That dog. That dog's real
Yeah,
cute.
the dog.
Which one?
Yeah.
Both, the puppy and then the older dog. They were so cute. Dave, you have a real answer.
Well, I mean, I think the life we've been talking about it. I think I want people to remember Pike's dream life, that he got to live a full life, and there was, even though we only saw snippets of it, there was years in between that. So I just like the idea that informs who he is as a person, as a captain. And I hope that I love the end of Undiscovered Country. Is it when he's like the last, like there's still more adventures to come? You know what I mean? And that's kind of the idea how this one ends. That yes, we've had adventures, but there's still many more to come. And I think that's also something that's the feeling I hope people get when they watch it. That they're satisfied in watching this, but that there's more to come and they want to see those things.
Yeah.
It feels more like a new chapter than the previous ones did. Not in a bad or good way, just that's the flavor I'm getting this time, yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's just a conscious bit of my own selfish, like it's the end of my chapter.
I was going to say, it'll be the Davy pre-season.
And so maybe there's a bit of that, all writing is personal writing on some level. So, I think that probably seeped in some way.
There you go. All right. Well, do either of you, do both of you, this is for both of you, have a favorite line from this episode?
If it is still in the cut, I think it is still in the cut. My favorite line is when Pike and Batel's daughter references Spock as Uncle Sock.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it's probably Uncle Spock. That's a good one. Anything in that third act, the with the daughter. I think the interaction between Pike and the fiance for me is also fun. But just watching Batel and Pike and the way that they have, their relationship is a good, healthy relationship, and they're like a married couple. So it's not really a line. I'm cheating by not saying something specific, but I just like those scenes.
Was there ever a temptation to acknowledge what's happening in the wider world outside of their house, or did you know instinctively that would be too much? While I was watching, I'm like, oh, Spock's off discovering mirror universes right now, or...
Yeah, no, we knew the scenes would all be in that house, but that was sort of like the idea of like Una becomes an admiral, and like there was this idea that like Spock was gonna come over for Thanksgiving, and like that Spock helped the daughter with like get her job, and we wanted to do that with a few other characters. Like I said, we really wanted the idea of like, they still have this full life with all of their friends. So we want it, but I mean, when it comes down to, I mean, a finale script, you only have so many pages and you only have so much time. Right. And like I said, I wanted to do a whole episode for about 4 minutes. I was like, Davey, what if?
right. And I was like, well, wait a second. Yeah. I mean, there was like big scenes that like Dana said, that kind of had to come down and just focus on the individual, you know. And so and ultimately knowing what's happening outside of that cabin and out of that world doesn't service their character for that story, and so we just had to keep coming more myopic, more personal.
Well, to end on, we've already asked Davey this question, so now I will lay it at Dana's feet. What do you think differentiates season 3 from the other 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds?
The number 3?
All good things come in threes.
I mean, honestly, like, just because I've mentioned it every time I've come on here, and I can't not think about it when I think about this season. I mean, every time I look at this season, and I hope that other people don't see it when they look at the season, but like, I can't look at the season and not see the strikes. Like, it was such a massive thing that split the season in 2. That was a really sad answer. Maybe we should delete that one.
Yeah. As a true answer, I mean, I can't imagine how it could not.
No, but I mean, that's
relate that way for you.
I never thought of that it did. I mean, like
apparently they didn't affect Davey very much.
I was off going camping with my children.
Well, I mean, honestly, for the fans, I mean, it was the way.
I was on the strike line.
Yeah.
You saw pictures. You were.
I had a strike sign somewhere.
For the fans, yeah, it caused the wait. It did. It really did. It caused the extra year.
Yeah, and I think that certainly changes how we watch it. It's like we've had 2 years to marinate on what's come and what we hope for. And
well, yeah, I mean, it did affect some creative decisions with sort of like we had to pick up Hegemony too, but then we sort of like jumped ahead quite almost a year in time because there had been a year in real time, and we wanted to like say stuff has happened in the interim, you know. And
that came from the hiatus
a little bit. Yeah. I mean that came, we were going to always jump ahead like a couple months, but then we were like, we just did the whole year now. And then it's interesting, the thing that you just brought up, though. I never really saw it that way, but yeah, like there was, I'd say 5 to 6 episodes that had been really worked on before the strike, and then the back half was kind of worked on a little bit more after the strike. And so we hope that it's all fun and enjoying, but like things changed, and the sort of connected momentum that you had on some things, like you come back a couple months later and you're like, where are those notes? Because I don't really remember what I was thinking when we were talking about this. You know what I mean?
Sure. There's fresh eyes, and then there's lost momentum as well.
Yeah. It's a strange thing because like, as now television takes so much longer to make, as you pointed out, it's a whole extra year before this was available for people to watch. And in previous, I mean, like the 2007 strike, you could see it in this, like you could actually see it in the seasons because it did stop production, like sort of right there smack in the middle. And hopefully you can't see it, but that's what I think when I see it, just because we were there.
I appreciate the honest answer. No, it makes total sense. Well, thank you again so much. It has been an amazing season. It's been an amazing season of talking to the writers and really digging in and finding out what was happening there. So thank you again both for coming on. Davey, we look forward to everything you've got coming. And Dana, we look forward to talking to you more next season.
I hope you guys I hope you like it. That's all I have.
I hear there's a puppet. I'm excited for that.
What? There's a puppet?
What?
Yeah, I heard the same thing. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready. I can't wait to watch as a fan.
Can't believe they did puppets.
Gee, who's responsible for that episode, Dana?
I make the puppets. We blame the puppets.
The puppets have become the puppet masters.
I can confirm that someone has been agitating for puppets during season 3. So I'm glad that this unnamed person finally got to be a part of that in season 4.
I don't know who you're talking about. I think it's a puppet, though.
And on that note, Dana, would you like to drop an F-bomb for the fans at home? And
no, it did.
No, at this point, no. Yeah,
it didn't
no.
come out
Not
naturally.
organic. You can't just throw those out. You know?
Can't just. It didn't. It wouldn't flow. It wouldn't flow.
Yeah, what the fuck, Cameron? You can't just put that on someone.
Thank
do
you,
that.
baby.